Hi, I'm Bill Snodgrass, and in this SNAPlife episode, we're going to look at the question, is it time to quit, or is it time to change, or is it time to keep going? And there's a lot of situations where this applies. There's relationships, there are business opportunities, there are career paths, there are social media enterprises like YouTube. Should you quit? Should you change what you're doing, or should you just keep going? And this is a difficult question. And processing this is not something that is necessarily easy. Is it time to end the relationship? Is it time to shut the business down? Is it time to give up on what you started, whatever that it is? This is something that is not something you want to jump into and like making an emotional decision. You need to first of all look at some data, not just some how does it feel, not just some well it feels like things aren't going so well. Look at some numbers, look at some data. What were you expecting when you started? And look at the data that you have and compare that to your expectations. Look at your sales, and what does data in a relationship look like? Well, that could be the sort of a factual examination of how the relationship is going. Is it mutual? Is it two-sided? Is there a sense of goodness? What is the data in social media? What were you setting out for? Now, you're not just saying, well, comparing my data to someone else's data. You need to compare your data to your expectations. What were you expecting, and how is it paying out? How are things playing out? That's the first question. Because if you're thinking about changing or giving up on something, then the reason that you're thinking that is you feel like it's not working the way you want it to work. So if you compare what's actually happening, that's your data, compare that to what you expected to begin with, now you have some sort of a measure that says, well, I was expecting, I'm just going to say something stupid here, I was expecting 27 and I'm only getting 11. But if you were expecting 11 and you've got 25, well, that's a lot better situation. Even if someone else is getting 500, if you were only expecting 11 and you're getting 25, then you cannot necessarily say, well, I'm just a total failure. Unless, stop and think about why you set out on this venture, whatever it is, the relationship. Why did you go into it in the first place? Has something changed? Is there something that makes those expectations no longer valid? Has something changed in your life? Has something changed in your perspective? Has something changed in your value system that makes those expectations no longer reasonable? So what if your expectations have changed? Now, this is a time to analyze the situation and say, is it time for me also to change? If you thought 11 was okay and you're getting 25, but now you feel like 25 really isn't what you thought it was going to be, do you need to do something to make your 25 into a 50? The only way that you can actually process this is if, one, you know what you were trying to do to start with, and two, you know what you're actually doing in the present. That is to reflect upon the reasons that were there when you started and to look at the actual data that is present in the situation that you're in. A lot of times in business, you start off with an expectation, you're like, this is what I need in order to make a profit. And then circumstances will change. Utilities will go up, rent will go up, the cost of raw goods will go up. Now, gross sales here are no longer going to cut it. You need your gross sales to go up because the circumstances have changed. You may need to change to go with that. In a relationship, your expectations might have been one thing going into it. This will be fun for a little while, and we'll just be talking. Maybe we'll go out a little bit. But as the relationship has matured, now your expectations are much higher because it's a much more important relationship to you. Whatever it is, the circumstances can change that may require you to change as well. So hopefully that was helpful. Let me quickly run through that again. Know what you started off trying to accomplish, know what you're actually doing, and then compare what you're actually doing with those start off expectations. And look at the situation. If anything's changed, do you need to change your expectations? And if you need to change your expectations, do you also need to change what you're doing in order to get them? It was a lot simpler in my head when I started this. Thanks for watching. I hope you enjoyed this, and if you did, please click the like button, subscribe to the channel, sign up for notifications, leave me a comment, question, or suggestion. As far as expectation of mine, one of the things I'd really like to see more of is more interaction through the comment section. So please leave me a comment, question, a suggestion, a direction that you might be interested in following this channel as it goes forward, something you might like to hear me to talk about or something like that. So please leave me a comment, and all those other things I said as well. That is all for this episode. I will see you in the next one.